pillars. So as I said it earlier, it's called the Academic Affairs Division, has one clear goal. It is to create an environment where our students will thrive, our faculty members excel, and our college continues to grow in influence and impact. And to do that, we've then anchored ourselves in 4 strategic pillars: growth, impact, visibility, and excellence. Remember, this is not supposed to conflict with the college overall strategic plan. It's just something, because it still aligns pretty well. It's just something that within academic affairs divisions that we use it as a way to help us organize our thoughts, our initiatives, and the things that we do moving forward. So when I do believe, hopefully you'll agree, that when we lean on these pillars, that we are going to be planning for success, and also we will be giving back to our students, our communities, and to one another. So we'll walk through each of them. Growth. So when we talk about growth, I know the first thing that comes to mind would be numbers, and they are important. So don't get me wrong, we are trying to grow our numbers. We would not exist if we don't have the numbers, and we all want to exist. I hope we can all agree that we all want to still be here. So that's what we are trying to do. We want to increase enrollment. We want to increase retention, graduation rates, but this is much more than growth as well. We also want to offer things that will meet the needs of today's students and tomorrow's workforce. If you think about it, even the agreement we have with the consulate has some workforce components to it. They want to be able to bring some students from Ghana for us to train, and then those students go back to their countries and engage in work, right? So this is important. But think about it as students are, if you remember, we already know our students are looking for flexible pathways. They are looking for relevant programs. They are looking for engaging courses that will prepare them for the real world challenges that they are going to face. So growth pillar really asks the question, are we keeping up? It also asks, are we adapting? Are we reaching the students where they are? So those are important, so think about them. That's really, when you're thinking about the growth strategy, ask those questions. Are we keeping up? Are we adapting? Are we reaching students where they are? That's why we have these strong partnerships with high schools, community colleges, more opportunities for adult learners, and revitalizing our core curriculum so that it feels alive and connected to current issues. So it's about being bold enough to expand when we can and if we should, and then staying true to our mission. Then for impact, I think some people will say this is actually the most important, but I would say they're all important, but this is really important because it's about our mission. So how are we going to ensure that in everything that we are doing, we are keeping our mission in mind? That's really what it is. We all know what the mission is, and I'm going to paraphrase, I'm not putting it exactly. What we're trying to do is to prepare graduates, right, who be ethical leaders. We want them to be community professionals, but the ethics part, we also talk about it. It's so important. And I keep saying this, for me, education is not really about gaining or earning those competencies that help people work. As important as those are, when we educate students, we want them to be the kinds of people, citizens, human beings that we will be proud of in the world, with what they are doing in the world, how they are changing the world, how they are changing just even immediate areas around them. That's what an educated person does, that they are thinking critically. They are thinking, okay, is this working? What changes can we make? That they are leaders. And remember, I always say being, you don't have to be the leader to be a leader, right? You don't have to have that positional, I'm the VP, I'm the president, to be a leader. Anybody can lead. Anybody can be a leader. So are we encouraging our students? Are we helping our students become those leaders who are thinking about ethics also in everything that they are doing, and thinking about change, but not change for the sake of change, but change that has impact, right? So these are things we always have to consider. I think when this pillar challenges us to weave community engagement also into everything that we are doing. Whether it's embedding service projects into our courses, inviting dynamic guest speakers who inspire our students, or aligning our programs with pressing community needs. What do the communities around us need? And we cannot be selfish. It can't just be about Anna Maria, right? What about our immediate surroundings? What do they need? How can we help? What can we do? And if you look at our numbers, we already have the impact score for Anna Maria, and it's high. And this is what we have to also always consider within the academic affairs division. When our students graduate, their success should be measured not just by where they work. It should be by the good that they are bringing to those communities that we are talking about. And then visibility. Well, we know, and I don't have to kind of stress this too much, we are doing incredible things at Anna Maria, everyone here, right? We've heard a few examples earlier today. But are people hearing about them? All these things we are doing, who knows, right, about them? This is the challenge, right? That is the challenge. So what can we do within our own units, our own divisions, all of us? And I know, I understand, I've heard it plenty of times, we need marketing. I hear it. And I'm not saying it's wrong, right? But again, as with anything I say, when people bring me a problem, do what? Find the solution first. Let's talk about your ideas about the solutions we could have. We all have a part to play. We can all do, even within our own limited means, within the limited facilities, everything we have, we can figure out ways that we can make some noise, tout what we are doing, what our faculty members within our departments, our units are doing. Share them. If we have our own personal Facebook, Instagram, we can share. That's our way of contributing, right? So what can we all do? That's part of the challenge for us within this pillar of visibility. How can we make ourselves more visible? I appreciate the podcast that John has, and I appreciate many of you. I know Barbara been invited for so many wonderful things in the community, and even some radio, yeah, right? So these are ways, when you have these opportunities, when you go to your high schools, when you go to the churches, talk about Anna Maria, say something. It doesn't have to be a whole presentation, but talk about your departments, say something. These are conversations I'd like us to have this afternoon. How can we do those things so that we continue to be visible, to have that name recognition? I know, Jim, you've been invited. What is the radio, the local radio, TV? Spectrum, right? I see him on Spectrum, and I beam with pride. Yeah, that's an Anna Maria. So they said, Professor at Anna Maria College. So we want to be the experts that people invite to speak. These are important. What can we do, and what are we doing as it is to make sure that we are doing all of those? So it's about our reputation, making sure that when people hear Anna Maria College, they are associated with innovation, they are associated with integrity, they are associated with excellence, they are associated with student success. All of those things are important. We have to be known for the right things. Finally, the excellence pillar is the glue that pulls it all together, because in everything that we do about growth, about visibility, about impact, we want to be excellent, right? We want to look at our systems, our processes, our protocols, our procedures, everything that we're doing and saying, is this working? Excellence is not saying, okay, I don't know, this system sucks. but what can you do, right? We can't throw our hands up and say, well, what can we do? We might not be able to do a whole lot because we don't have the resources, money and otherwise, but there are things we can do, absolutely. I do believe that, right? So excellence is in everything that we are doing, making sure we are following protocols, making sure we have the right procedures, making sure we have the right processes, making sure that we are constantly thinking about continuous improvement. How can we, no matter how much of an improvement, let's make some improvement. Let's keep growing incrementally, or however you want to say it, but let's at least make sure that if we have 9% today, that tomorrow we have 12, next day we have 15, that we are always what? Growing, excelling, and doing better with what we have. I think it's that culture of assessment, the culture of transparency and accountability. And transparency is so important. I keep saying that. I know for my part, if I know something, I'll make sure you know. I will share as much as I know. That's really what it is. And if it seems vague, ask me, right? And I hope that that's how we operate within our own units, that we openly share what we know, what we're doing, and ask for how can we do better, how can we do more, what can we do. We want to ensure that our programs are rigorous, that our policies are fair and forward-looking, and most importantly, that our students are what? Succeeding. So excellence reminds us that in every decision that we are making, the central focus should be what? Will this help our students thrive, right? So think about that question when you're thinking excellence. Will this help our students thrive? That's really the key. And then how can we ensure that we do this in the right way to make sure that our students are thriving? I know that if we ground ourselves in that question, that we'll be on the right track. So that's it. It's a give, the growth, impact, visibility, and excellence, 4 simple words, but I believe that they are powerful commitments if we achieve them. So, and if we leave them out, we will achieve goals, and then we'll transform lives and strengthen the Anna Maria community. I hope that we can set the college on a path of distinction. So that is the goal. So as we move into this afternoon's conversations, please make sure that each of you can think of what role can you play in your department. I know it'll be easy, especially for our staff members who are here. You may say, I don't see myself in this, right? Because it's heavily focused, it would appear, on the academic departments, but it's not, right? And this is why I also appreciate the library. And I know in everything they are doing, they're thinking about visibility. You know, some of these contests that they're holding over the summer, bringing people to read books, these are all important, right? It's a way of showing that visibility. So in every area, in every administrative area, we can follow these pillars to succeed. All right, thank you all. And what we will do next is, if you can, I don't know, it's going to be a little tough the way this is set up, but